Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that's going to take us straight to Oz.
Oz.
Oh, not literally,
Okay.
but we are going to explore Wicked, which, I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good witch story?
I'm with you there.
But today, we're not just talking about the music or the costumes, although those are pretty amazing too.
Right.
We're going to go deeper, figure out why Wicked became such a cultural phenomenon, like way beyond just a Broadway hit.
It's true. It really did take on a life of its own.
Exactly.
You see Wicked references everywhere.
Oh, totally. It's everywhere, like even years later. So to help us unpack all of this, we're diving into a chapter from this book, From Book to Blockbuster, How Wicked Took Over Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And this chapter focuses specifically on the cultural impact of Wicked, which I think is super interesting.
Yeah, me too.
So let's set the stage a bit. It's 2003, Broadway, and this brand new musical comes out all about, you guessed it, the Witches of Oz.
Okay, I'm seeing where this is going.
But here's the twist it's told from the witch's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Dorsey's anymore.
Right. So it's like flipping the script.
Exactly. What do you think it was about that fresh perspective that made Wicked just explode?
Well, the book really emphasizes those themes that everyone can relate to, friendship, finding your voice, standing up for what you believe in.
Oh, absolutely. Those are timeless.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what really resonated with people was Elphaba's journey, especially her longing to be accepted. I mean, she's literally ostracized just for having green skin.
Yeah, that feeling of being the outsider, it's something so many of us have felt.
Right, and seeing Elphaba embrace her true self despite the prejudice she faces, that's powerful. It's a message of resilience that really speaks to people across all ages and backgrounds.
Totally. And it's interesting how Wicked goes beyond just saying be yourself.
Mm.
It really dives into the complexities of acceptance and societal pressures and all that.
Oh yeah, definitely doesn't shy away from the hard stuff.
And her story wasn't confined to just Broadway either.
Oh, definitely not.
Wicked went global. Touring companies took the show all over the world, and there were international adaptations so people from all different cultures could experience it.
That's right. It became like a worldwide phenomenon.
And then you throw social media into the mix, which totally amplified this already passionate fan base.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So the book talks about how platforms like MySpace and Facebook, remember those days?
Oh, yeah, the good old days.
Those early platforms really gave fans this new way to connect and share their love for Wicked.
It was more than just seeing the show. It was about being part of a community.
It really was. And then later, Twitter and Instagram just kept that momentum going. Fans could dissect the story, create their own Wicked-inspired content. It was amazing.
It really was. Wicked inspired a whole online universe.
And speaking of inspiring, the book also dives into how Wicked shook things up in terms of representing, strong, complex female characters on stage.
Yeah, Wicked came out with these two incredible female leads, Elphaba and Glinda, and they were so different from those typical, one-dimensional female characters you often saw in theater.
It was like they were real people, with flaws and ambitions and desires.
Exactly, and their friendship, it wasn't always perfect either, which made it even more relatable.
Totally. There was competition, there were disagreements, but ultimately they really supported each other.
They challenged each other to grow, celebrated their differences. It was great.
So refreshing, right? Especially for female audiences who, were tired of seeing themselves portrayed in such simple ways. And then there's Elphaba's journey, which has been praised for its feminist themes. She's literally green, a visual representation of being different, and faces constant discrimination because of it.
Yeah, and she never lets that define her. It's amazing.
It's so inspiring. The way she chooses to challenge the status quo, to fight for what she believes in, even if it means going against society's expectations.
It's a message of defiance, and it's so powerful, especially for women who have been told to stay quiet or fit in.
Totally. And we can't forget about Glinda.
Oh, right, Glinda.
She starts off as this seemingly superficial character.
Yeah, the popular one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she undergoes a real transformation, right? She sheds that facade and embraces a more empathetic, authentic version of herself.
Yeah, and I think that resonates so much, especially today, with all the pressure to present this perfect image online.
Right, social media can make it hard to be your true self.
Definitely. But Glinda's journey shows us that it's okay to let go of those expectations and embrace who you really are, flaws and all.
And it highlights the power of growth and self-awareness.
Absolutely. We see her learning from Elphaba, unlearning her own biases, and becoming a better ally.
Such a good point. It's a reminder that we can all evolve and become more compassionate people. But Wicked doesn't just focus on individual journeys, it also tackles some big, complex issues,
Oh, yeah, it goes there.
like societal prejudice and the whole idea of otherness.
Yeah, Elphaba's green skin becomes a metaphor for any characteristic that sets someone apart.
Right, whether it's race, gender, sexual orientation, disability, anything that can make someone a target for discrimination.
And the way Wicked highlights that pain of exclusion and the courage it takes to defy those expectations, it's really powerful.
It is, and it makes you think about all the ways people are marginalized in our own world.
Exactly.
And then there's the wizard with his whole oppressive regime. It feels like a commentary on the dangers of propaganda and unchecked authority.
Oh, absolutely. He's manipulating the citizens of Oz, playing on their fears and prejudices to hold on to his power.
It's scary how easily people can be swayed by that kind of stuff, especially when it comes from someone in a position of authority.
It's a reminder to always think critically and question those in power.
So we've got these universally relatable themes, these incredibly well-developed characters, a message that challenges us to think about prejudice and power. But Wicked also revolutionized the way Broadway shows were created, didn't it?
Oh, for sure. Think back to that iconic defying gravity scene. Elphaba rising into the air, defying expectations. It was visually spectacular and so emotionally charged, and it set a new standard for Broadway productions.
I still get chills just thinking about it. And the book really points out how Wicked raised the bar in terms of like technical innovation, the sets, the special effects. It was all so groundbreaking.
It really was. It showed that a musical could be visually stunning and emotionally resonant, that it could transport you to another world while also making you think about your own.
It's like it expanded the possibilities of what a Broadway show could be.
Exactly, and it influenced a whole new generation of musical theater creators.
Right. This focus on character-driven storytelling, exploring those universal themes, it's something we see in a lot of shows that came after Wicked.
Like Hamilton, for example.
Oh, good one. It uses historical figures in unconventional ways, blends genres, and focuses on telling stories that resonate on a deeper level.
And both Hamilton and Wicked sparked conversations that continued long after the curtain fell.
Exactly. They left people thinking about things in a new way. It's amazing to think how one musical could have such a ripple effect, not just on Broadway, but on pop culture as a whole. And we'll delve even deeper into that lasting impact right after we take a quick moment to...
Yeah, it's like Wicked opened up the doors and said, hey, Broadway can be more than just a spectacle.
Right. It can be a platform for exploring these complex themes, these like important social issues.
Exactly, and that had a huge impact on, the business side of Broadway, too.
Oh, totally. Because like Wicked was a massive financial success.
It really was, like a box office smash.
And I think that success showed producers that audiences were ready for something different, something that would challenge them intellectually and emotionally.
Yeah, it gave them the confidence to greenlight shows that might have been considered, like, too risky before.
Too edgy, too out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Wicked proved that you can be thought-provoking and still be wildly popular.
Absolutely, and that leads us to its global impact. The book talks about how Wicked helped to pave the way for, like, the globalization of Broadway.
It's true, Wicked was a global phenomenon.
Its themes like friendship, self-discovery, challenging societal norms, they resonated with audiences across cultures and languages.
It's incredible how a story set in Oz could have such universal appeal.
Right. It's like those themes are just part of the human experience no matter where you're from.
It really broke down those geographical barriers and said, hey, Broadway isn't just for New Yorkers, it's for everyone.
And that led to a surge in international adaptations of Broadway shows.
Oh, yeah. Producers realized that there was this huge global audience that was eager to experience Broadway.
And all of a sudden, shows were being translated into different languages, staged in countries all over the world.
It's remarkable how Wicked's success played a part in making Broadway a global phenomenon.
And it wasn't just about bringing existing shows to new audiences. It also inspired the creation of new musicals with global appeal in mind.
That's a good point. It really expanded the creative landscape for everyone.
So Wicked's legacy extends way beyond the stage.
It does. It's not just about the show itself. It's about that ripple effect it had on the entire industry.
It challenged artistic norms, pushed creative boundaries, and demonstrated the power of stories to connect with people on a global scale.
And it's still resonating with audiences today.
Oh, yeah. Even after all these years, it's become a cultural touchstone.
A story that people keep coming back to for its timeless themes and its message of hope and resilience.
It's like it's become part of our collective consciousness.
And what's fascinating to me is how Wicked encourages us to, like, think differently about good and evil.
To look beyond those simple labels.
Right, because often those concepts are shaped by societal perceptions and prejudices.
And Wicked asks us to question our own biases and to consider the perspectives of those who are often marginalized or demonized.
It's like holding up a mirror to society and challenging us to confront some uncomfortable truths about prejudice and power.
And that message feels more relevant than ever.
Especially in a world dealing with issues of social justice, political polarization, the spread of misinformation.
Wicked reminds us of the importance of empathy, critical thinking, and challenging those systems that perpetuate inequality.
It's a story that prompts us to ask those big questions.
To consider different perspectives.
And to recognize the complexities within ourselves and within society.
And for me, that's what makes Wicked so powerful and enduring.
It's not just a musical, it's a conversation starter, a catalyst for change.
It really is. It doesn't offer easy answers, but it does encourage us to engage in those difficult conversations, to challenge our assumptions.
To strive to create a more just and equitable world.
And if you haven't experienced the magic of Wicked for yourself, I highly recommend it.
Oh, absolutely.
This deep dive has only scratched the surface.
You really should check it out.
It's a story that offers something for everyone, whether you're a seasoned theatergoer or a newcomer to Broadway. Wicked has this power to transport you to another world while also making you reflect on your own. You know what really strikes me about Wicked? It's like it gives us permission to embrace our own complexities. It reminds us that we're all a mix of, light and shadow.
That we're not just one thing or the other.
Exactly. Like we're capable of both great kindness and moments of, wickedness.
Yeah, I love that about Wicked. It embraces that nuance, that idea that there's often more to the story than meets the eye.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, think about Elphaba. She's labeled as wicked by society, but she's also incredibly compassionate and courageous.
Exactly. And Glinda, who at first seems like she's all sweetness and light, well, she has her own moments of selfishness and insecurity.
Right. But Wicked doesn't shy away from those complexities. It embraces them.
Yeah, showing us that it's okay to be a work in progress, to make mistakes, and to learn and grow from those experiences.
It's like it's saying, hey, you don't have to be perfect to be good.
Exactly. And I think that message of hope and redemption really resonates with people.
The idea that we can all evolve and become better versions of ourselves.
Absolutely. It's a story that acknowledges the darkness within us all, but also reminds us of our capacity for love, empathy, forgiveness.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is. And ultimately, it's a story about the power of choice, the idea that we can choose to defy those labels that society tries to put on us.
To forge our own path.
Yes.
It reminds me of that line from For Good. Because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Oh, such a good one.
It's about how relationships can transform us, how we can inspire each other to be better, even when we're facing tough choices.
And I think that's such an important message, especially today.
When it's so easy to feel divided and disconnected.
Right.
But Wicked reminds us of the importance of reaching across those divides, understanding different perspectives, recognizing our shared humanity.
Absolutely. And it encourages us to use those different perspectives to make the world a better place.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Wicked by.
Time flies when you're talking about witches, right?
It really does.
Yeah.
We've explored its cultural impact, its groundbreaking characters, its thought-provoking themes, and its lasting legacy.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has. And it's clear that Wicked is much more than just a musical. It's a cultural phenomenon that continues to inspire and challenge audiences everywhere.
It's a story that stays with you.
It really does. Thanks for joining us on this journey to Oz. We hope this deep dive has left you with a newfound appreciation for Wicked and its power to connect with us on such a deep level.
And if you haven't already, go see it.
Yes. You might just find yourself changed for good.